My name is Tommy Simpson, also known as So Topic, and basically everything she said. Yes. Um, I found it appropriate. First off, I have to address today is a pretty heavy day. I almost wasn't going to be here. Today, my grandfather was buried, and he's one of the few people in the family that I still enjoy the company of. So it's a bit heavy, but with that said, I feel it is more motivation to do what I'm supposed to do today. So just bear with me. Um, First question, how many people have apps on their phone and how many games do you have on your phone? I myself have exactly three. One is a word cross game, one is an adventure game, and one is Call of Duty just because I like the platform. Um, it's kind of funny. I noticed that over time, video games went from like something you would enjoy, say, at a local laundromat to something that's basically in your house to something that you carry around in your pocket. Not only that, it has changed the way we perceive information from advertisements being inserted into them, from subliminal messages being put into video games, from brief cuts and snippets of movies and TV shows being put into video games. Also, it's changed the way we perceive information. It's changed the way we receive exercise. We have Wii Fits, we have all types of fitness type games. And it got me thinking, maybe I should make a list of how these video games have impacted my life directly. I do music, but in doing music, I've learned that the name of the game is actually entertainment. With that, I saw fit to make myself more appropriate on screen, to be more of a performer, to do more this, that, whatever it took to be a better performer. And I wanted to know what were my motivations for doing that aside from just being a performer, being a musician. And I recall all of the times I sat and listened to video game soundtracks, all of the times I took way too long to customize a car, my own character, my pet, my roller coaster in SimCity. Um, I started to notice how much all of these video games had actually affected who I had become in the long run. Um, I guess I can start with a very simple one. Let me get everything loaded up for you all. First off, the first actual sensation I can remember. Let's do a screen share. Who remembers the joy of seeing this screen for the first time? Right? It's a very simple, subtle pleasure that you're just like, oh, okay, well, yeah, look at all these things bouncing around. This is crazy. And suddenly you find yourself playing again, right? And now you're suddenly trying to beat this bonus, this score, do it in less time. And before you know it, you're kind of priming yourself to do something that, I don't know, it's a minuscule task, maybe has nothing to do in the real world, just something you like to spend your time, bide your time doing. It's really cool. You're getting better and better at it. The first game I can remember impacting my life is this little game here. Yeah. Now, I feel everybody's at the appropriate age in this room. We don't have to discuss it. But if you're good at this game, odds are when you go on a road trip, you're the person that has to pack the car, right? Or when you go out of town, you're the person that's packing the suitcases now, right? Or when you come in with groceries, you're the one organizing the fridge and the cabinets because you got way too good at this game, right? Another thing that suddenly impacts our ways of thinking, the way we operate. Every time I didn't even know it was building me up for OCD. Now every time something's out of line, I'm like, no, it needs to be straight. I need to see everything parallel and symmetrical. Um, one of the things that impacted my life, one of the favorites actually. Maybe you guys will recognize this pose. Let's play a game. Let's see if you recognize this pose. Look familiar? Recognize that guy? This guy made me want to jump around off of everything and strike that pose. That's that sweet, sweet Mario pose. It was him and Michael Jordan. They had the two coolest poses I ever knew. Now, video games have become so influential over time that even some of the pioneers of hip hop have started to acknowledge the presence of their songs in Fortnite, their songs in all of these different types of games, from basketball to soccer to racing games. The most prominent pioneers who have made a statement so far took it upon their took it upon themselves to declare gaming an element of hip hop. The Wu-Tang Clan. Please ignore their grammatical error. Sometimes your thumbs get excited on Twitter and you just want to get your message out. But gaming is now one of the elements of hip hop. That would be right beside graffiti, breakdancing, emceeing slash hosting events, DJing. Um, Gaming has been introduced in a really weird twist, but you can't ignore the musical influences of these things. So much so that you can't really watch a movie without some kid in it playing a video game, and vice versa. You can't really play a video game without someone watching a movie in said video game or mentioning a movie. It's become a forefront of our culture. It's a part of our existence now. The subtle impacts on me I didn't really discover until later, such as the Tetrises, the Marios, and everything that just made me me. But the first time I can recall, the first time I can recall perceiving a message from a video game was at a laundromat. My mother would take me and my sister to the laundromat, and she'd give us exactly $1 in quarters. That means we get to play 4 rounds on any games we want. And my sister had this fascination with a game called Galaga, right? Now, this game called Galaga, for some reason, she would always kick my ass when it came to high scores. I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. I was just short enough to see like over the counter, but I couldn't see everything. I just saw little shots going off. Once I was a little bit taller, I noticed something really strange. I noticed that she had 2 ships. Now, unless you're deep in the know about Galaga, the fact that she has 2 ships, however weird or strange that may be, that is the secret. It's sitting right there in your face. It's plain as day, and you have to jump through a few loopholes to get it, but you can get 2 ships. What does 2 ships mean? Twice the bullets. Twice the bullets, twice the points. Suddenly, me growing about a few centimeters higher, I'm seeing why I'm getting my ass kicked. I'm like, she's cheating. There's no way she can't. This is the thing. She's not cheating. She learned something. She utilized that something. And unless this game is broken or it's going to glitch out or something bad is going to happen, which we really didn't perceive, she's playing by the rules. She's just better than you are. At this point, you learn that the very same game that you've been playing along with everybody else, there's different ways to play it. There are way smarter ways to play the same game that everybody's been playing. Yeah, you're shooting the same shot, but some shots can count twice as much. Some people will put out a billion shots and maybe get like half of those shots to hit something. Some people will put out significantly less shots, a lot less effort, and still hit that mark. First thing we learned, you can get 2 spaceships in a usually 1 spaceship game. From then on out, you just kind of start paying attention to the world a little different, especially when it comes to these means of quote unquote entertainment, which led me on my next adventure. Fucking mine. So my mom saw fit in order to keep me out of trouble to get me some cute little monsters that go around destroying each other. And I was like, okay, cool. I will compromise that. Um, I love that. Um, this game, aside from its cute child violence factor, kind of inspired kids, even in today's time, to get outside and just kind of explore their own neighborhoods and learn what was going on out there. Um, it was less about finding little monsters to fight each other and more about riding bikes around in new places with your friends. Um, and of course, in 2021, now you have it on your phone. You can go outside and just, burn calories while you look for these cute little animals to fight your friends again. I think it's amazing. it kind of came full circle, and I'm glad to see it did, because there's a lot of messages in the original Pokemon that I just absolutely love, from never giving up to learning how to formulate your team, learning your strengths and weaknesses. Fire works well against grass. You know, if you're trying to beat up somebody's grass Pokemon, you're going to have a fire type on your team. Also, what else can start fire is this little lightning guy right here. His name is Pikachu, and he's freaking famous. Um, you start to learn what people are good at. You start to learn what people's weaknesses are, and you kind of learn what your strengths and weaknesses are in the process. Um, and you just kind of, I can't stress that team aspect enough. You just get those elements down, and then you can kick somebody's ass or kick your circumstances ass. It's really cool. Um, as a youth, I got to see the video game world evolve a lot. I got to see PlayStations 1 through 4 so far. Pretty fun. Lots of nice stuff happening. A lot of work to still be done. Very distinctively, I remember this one game that taught me to be a little more creative with my executions, called Crash Bandicoot. There's this cool little guy who wore some really nice shoes. He's running around shirtless in some shorts, and he has a little mask that floats around sometimes and protects him. Um, I don't know. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's this cute little guy, and I felt like I was this cute little guy exploring the world. And sometimes I just take my shirt off and run around. It's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, we have hit the era of PlayStation 2. Now, with this era specifically comes better graphics. Suddenly, I'm in this beautiful world, and everything's a little more crisp, a little more clear. But also, we're experimenting more with real life situations as opposed to odd, quirky creatures like Crash Bandicoots. We're getting more real humans involved. I'm starting to notice people that look like me in video games. Like, wow, I like to do that. And then
Has Tony Hawk gone insane?
Tony Hawk
Tricking off a
drops.
fire truck, a cop car, and freeway traffic? It's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, with 8 massive living levels that let you trick off of everything. Choose from 13 skaters, create a skater, a skate park, even play online. What's Tony Hawk doing on the...
You get the drift. Now, this game is the game that introduces me to the world of music. This game has one of the most amazing soundtracks I've ever heard in my life. I immediately try to find every artist's disc. And not only that, I've officially broken out of my common world of hip hop, R&B, and neo soul into a world that is filled with punk rock, reggae, ska, and all of these other electronic flavors I'd never let my ears taste before. And the entire time, I can jump over police cars and off of freeways safely. Um, it changed everything. The customization factor alone is the reason I'm wearing a headband and a bright yellow shirt with you right now. Um, Being a kid and not knowing exactly what money is or how it works, how it operates, or anything about that, it feels good when you can pick up something, be the person you want to be, get the stuff you want to get in that game, and live the life you want to live. Everything from taking that risk of jumping off of whatever to get whatever, to being able to fall, get back up and take that risk again and be safe about it. Um, it kind of opened that world and just gave us that experimentation. Uh, Video games became a safe place for all the weird kids. Um, and the ones who really got that began to appreciate it. You began to see it in their styles in the real world. I had a friend named Jordan Robinson, who also passed away in 2016. He's the reason I wear pink. And the reason he wore pink is because he played Need for Speed Underground, a car racing game, and he'd always wanted a pink car. He just wanted to drive in a pink car, something that would be kind of weird in real life, especially for him being like a beefier guy, kind of like a football player. It's kind of different. Um, but it just gave us the courage to do things that we didn't really know mattered at the time. It just felt good to know we could do it. Um, so from this fun little skating adventure, from all of this stuff, there's this one move, right? This one particular little handstand. I hope y'all can see it. Let's see if we can make it bigger. This one little scene, right, becomes this. It's not much. It's not much at all, but it goes from a video game into the real world, you know? Um, Influences style, influences the way we think, influences our bravery levels, influences the way we face our fears. The fact that we can go into a video game and fall until we get it right, and then take it into the real world so we don't actually fall. Um, Apparently, even to this day, there's something out there called Microsoft Flight Simulator that is still helping pilots to learn what they're doing in these actual cockpits for real life scenarios. Microsoft Flight Simulator. I can't. It's self-explanatory, really. For all of my filmmakers in the room, there's a guy who made a game called Near Automata. His name is Yoko Taro, and he's absolutely one of my favorite people. He doesn't like interviews, so he wears a giant mask of one of his characters to every interview, and it's absolutely amazing. Very mysterious, very enigmatic, and also helps sell his games. Um, he has a specific, it's an hour-long thing on YouTube. I wouldn't call it a lecture. It's way cooler than a lecture. It's called Making Weird Games for Weird People. In this, he teaches you about something called backwards script writing. And of all the video game creators, I never thought I would learn more about film from a guy telling me how to make a video game with 26 endings. Um, and I don't want to spoil anything, but one of the secrets is as long as you know how it ends and how it starts, you can go wherever you want to. Of course, that doesn't apply to everything. Some stuff can get really weird if you don't have that middle structure, that foundation. But for the most part, it gives you a lot of flexibility, and it kind of makes that gray area a fun place to be in instead of a place to struggle in. You know, um, he goes on to do this game with 22 joke endings and 5 true endings. Right? It's a weird concept, but picture this: you pay $60 for this one game. Now, aside from the 22 joke endings that if you make a wrong turn in this game, just randomly pop up and goes to the credits and you have to start over. Um, these 5 real endings. You play the game once, it gives you the first ending, and you notice that the story feels a bit incomplete. You play this game on the second playthrough, you're now a different character in the same story, playing from their perspective. As you play this game, it is a completely different storyline. You're playing the same events, but now you know his side of everything, why the enemy is trying to kill you, what the enemy is thinking, and then you beat the game for the second time. After you beat the game the second time, a chunk of the map that you were originally on for the first 2 playthroughs gets destroyed. Now, for some reason, you're on the moon, playing as the third person who's been observing everything from the safety of the moon. Now you're getting involved in going back down to the earth where the other 2 characters are on your third playthrough. You played this game and you beat it for the third time, right? All 3 of your characters now have to team up to fight a mysterious fourth character that was never revealed but has been orchestrating the events of everything since the first 3 playthroughs. The fourth time you play this game, you get the 3 characters you played with, and it's a layered event. It's a beautiful layered event. And suddenly your $60 that you spent on this initial event should have been 250 because you've played the same game 4 times, but it's a completely different game each time. I think that's brilliant, and I think it's very humanitarian of you to even put that much work into a game that people only have to pay one time for 5 different adventures, you know? Not to mention the 22 pranks you can play on your friends if you give it to them and don't tell them how to play it. Um, there comes this cinematic beauty and this like interactive element with video games from the fact that you feel like you're kind of crafting your own movie in real time. But although you know how it's going to end, or maybe you don't know how it's going to end, you're going to play it the way you want to play it, the way you know how to play it. Same game as everyone else, but you're playing the way you know how, the best way you can. Um, Technically, I could in there, but I can give you these two other games that have deeply inspired me. One is called Undertale. Now, in most video games, you would assume if you get a laser, a sword, or any weapon of any type, any object, you're supposed to use it to destroy what you perceive as your foe. Yeah. This game played one of the greatest pranks on everyone and allowed you to do what is called what is now popularized and known very well as a pacifist run through. You can play this game without destroying anyone. You can get into any scenario you want to and negotiate. You can make friends. You can bake a pie for someone so they don't try to fight you and hit you with a magic spell that turns you into a poison. Uh, it's one of the few games where you're surrounded by violence and given the option not to engage in any of it. The last level on this game puts you in a position that is so bloodthirsty and out to make you just push one button and shoot off one shot. It throws everything at you. It's 99% hard. Trust me, I've tried it. I wasn't able to beat it. But if you're able to beat this game without hurting anyone in this game, the final boss will actually get tired, stop, negotiate with you, become your friend, and you unlock a completely different game. The game turns itself upside down, and you get to play from the positive side of the game instead of the dark side where everyone wants to fight. And as much as I stress being able to play the game your own way, if there's ever a way to play a game safely where everyone wins, regardless of how hard it may be, regardless of how much it may stress you, if you have your elements and your pieces and your people in place to help you do something that helps everyone move forward, I would suggest that every time. I try to utilize that every chance I get. Um, and I hope that the people that are near me and surround me feel it. And I hope, like, at the end of a lot of video games I played, we win, and all of a sudden everybody's just sitting on a mountain counting all of their gold coins or something. I don't know. But whatever this life may hold, I would ask that if you play the game, please play it according to your own rules and know that there's different ways to play the game. Whenever it feels too hard, there may be a secret object you're not seeing. There may be a path you just haven't observed hard enough yet. Maybe you don't even have the right items, the right glasses to see this path yet. Or maybe you're looking too hard and you have to close your eyes and then it'll open up. In any case, I would ask that you never give up. Every video game I taught me has taught me to never give up. No matter how hard it is, even if I don't have the right team, you never give up because you can't win if you give up.
Thank you. That's such a beautiful, beautiful message. I'm gonna end this now and like totally go back and look over every game I've ever played in my life and see how that's like affected me. But
Oh, start with Tetris.
yeah. As soon as like I'm the one that loads the car up for sure. But I like love it as well. It's so much fun. Um yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much. There we go.
This is a little piece of the game I was trying to make for you guys, but I got hit with real life and I couldn't do it.
Oh, well, I mean, that's brilliant itself. So that's all right. Thank you so much. We all appreciate this massively, especially considering like what your circumstances. Thank you so much. And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure like it's just been so insightful. Has anybody got any questions or anything they want to say? um, I can totally unmute or you can comment it. It's your call.
I'm gonna throw this one link that I recommend people check out in the chats.
Yes,
Maybe
please do.
weird. There you go. If you have
Amazing.
an hour or just get bored and want to check out something really interesting, I would recommend you check that out.